Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Yoder's Farm. I am joined like normal by my brother Lowell.
Joined like normal by your abnormal brother Lowell.
Well, you're definitely abnormal, so you got that going for you. Let's see. So today we don't have a specific topic to talk about. I guess it's just kind of a general update, and we're just going to kind of see what happens now that we're actually recording the episode.
All right, sounds good with me.
So the last couple of weeks, the big thing, of course, has been the fall season, I guess.
Yeah. We are over halfway done, I believe. We had, of course, the crazy, we had this couple weekends in September. It was warm, sort of warm, nothing abnormal for September. And then we had that crazy spike in temperature about the first week of October. And we were
last
like
weekend
mid to upper 90s, and we were worried about pumpkins sunburning and worried about our newly planted strawberry plants and all those good things. And then the big cold front swept through, the temperatures dropped, and it's felt like fall ever since.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to continue feeling mostly like fall over the next days.
Yeah, we've been really dry the last month plus, and had a really nice rain this morning, had an inch. So that's, it's actually pretty timely. We're right here in the middle of the week. Unfortunately, rained out a couple of field trips, but it shouldn't do too much more harm than that.
We have both rescheduled.
So
it should be all right.
Good for the strawberries again. I've been pumping the water to them, irrigating them, and I think I can start backing off.
The ones I've seen are looking pretty perky. They're, I guess, putting their roots in.
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with the growth that we have on them this fall. I think our timing, planning-wise, was good. Most of the field looks very good. The earliest ones we planted, remember I talked about those early varieties, they look good. I'm really pleased with them. They have a nice plant growing, and actually a few red berries on them. So this variety it produces blooms fairly soon after you plant it, just the nature of the variety. And if you start seeing some red berries in your field in the fall, it obviously nothing. Well, it's exciting just because you get to nibble on a few. Of course, we won't really pick any volume this fall, but it's kind of an indicator that they're developing well enough in this fall to produce a little bit of fruit. That bodes well for fruit production in the
next spring. Yep, very good.
So fall pumpkin harvest. We're well into that. We have most of our specialty stuff harvested. We keep picking around and getting to stuff. We try to, as we sell stuff, we try to get new product back up, and I think we have. I don't know if I'll get it done this week, but we're winding down the pumpkin harvest. Actually, to be honest, our pumpkin field has just gotten slammed with people. I mean, we have sold so many pumpkins
Saturday
the last
was
2
quite
weekends.
Busy, and that kind of put a dent in things.
I'm honestly wish I had a few more pumpkins. I don't know if we're gonna quite run out, but we're gonna run a little tighter than I wish. I don't think that was necessarily due to, maybe production was down a little bit, but we planted a lot, and some of them did very well. Maybe it wasn't the most banner year, but it certainly wasn't a flop. Yeah. But I think a lot of it's just been the crazy demand the last couple weekends. Seems like for whatever reason, once the switch flipped to fall, it's like it just put people in fall mode, and they took it out on
It's kind of affected everything. The first couple of weeks are always pretty slow, especially if it's warm, and then you get a little cold snap, and people just decide it's fall and show up for fall stuff, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we still have a few more loads to bring in from an outside field of the regular orange jack-o'-lanterns.
Outside, you mean not our pick-your-own patch?
Right. We have several fields around the farm. Yeah. And so a couple takeaways for next year. Need to plant more pumpkins, probably. I would rather have too many pumpkins than not enough.
Yeah.
And it's really nice to plant pumpkins like a little later, and like the ones we're picking now, man, they're really nice. They have a nice green stems.
Yeah, I looked
they're
at
fresh.
Your load up there, and it's a lot of really nice,
really
handles
pretty.
and pretty pumpkins.
You know, a wholesale pumpkin farm, if you're shipping wholesale pumpkins, you know, you need to start towards the end of September, really cranking them out there. Well, we sell pumpkins here through the whole month of October, so we can have some later developing pumpkins, and that works out okay for us. You don't want them all coming in the last 2 weeks of October, but certainly having some is not all bad.
Sure enough.
So I tried a few new ones. I was going to look them up, and I didn't.
That's fine.
Maybe I tried this year.
Maybe we should try to do a pumpkin episode sometime, kind of like we did about strawberries. It wouldn't maybe not be as specific.
Maybe so.
But
do that.
Or maybe we could do that next year when you're planting them.
Maybe so. Yeah, one I planted this year called Troll. An ugly name, but a really pretty pumpkin. It's not a huge one. It's like a specialty one.
Okay.
It has like an embedded kind of a gray part set.
I don't know if I've even seen
it looks like
one
a
of
Turk's
those.
turban except with gray on the end. That was a really pretty one. Another one I planted, it's kind of like a Cinderella, but a little lighter pink and some stripes on it. I can't remember the name right off the top
Another
of my
good
head.
cooking pumpkin, I'm assuming?
I think it would be. It's like a specialty type pumpkin. That was really pretty. Probably should plant a few more pinks next year. And I still have a lot of nice buckskins and running short on gray ones. The white ones did well this year.
Yeah,
a lot of really pretty white ones.
Some pretty big white ones here behind the house. I guess they'll be.
So we cut them early and have them, in a cool and dark place so they don't discolor, and we keep pulling them out of storage.
Yeah.
And plus harvest, I still have white pumpkins in the field, so we kind of pull from both places.
Sure.
But yeah, still some monster nice. I think they're polar bears.
Yeah, they're really
very pretty white ones.
Like white pumpkins.
Had a small one that's a little softball size, a little bit bigger one called Snowball, and I really liked it last year. That was really pretty pumpkin, so I planted, I probably went a little crazy planting it this year. We have tons of those.
Okay.
We sold a lot of them too. I think people really like it. It's a kind of a field trip size pumpkin, but it's white.
Yeah.
And they're really pretty. So they did really well this year. Had a couple rows, but man,
it's fascinating.
We're still picking them.
You were talking about some varieties that normally do really well that didn't this year necessarily as well. That's just kind of
sometimes
interesting.
Heat, some pumpkins don't set fruit as well in the heat, so
it's more about the setting of the fruit probably than
I think so.
Than how they grew after that.
Maybe has to do with your nighttime temperatures back in August, and August is when they're setting fruit. So
very good.
Anyway, plant a diverse mix, plant more. Try a few new ones, probably.
Just be better.
Be
as
better.
A human.
Do better things.
Very good.
So, lots to think about for another year. The corn maze is holding up well.
Yeah.
Corn is definitely weathering down some. It's pretty much done for the year. But the sorghum is holding up.
Need to head in at some point and clean some down corn stuff, whether that's deer going through it after dark or possibly some humans that went through pieces of places where there weren't actually trails.
Busting through the corn where they shouldn't bust through the corn. Let's just say it how it is.
I wasn't sure if we wanted to be diplomatic
humans,
or not.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
But overall, the maze is holding up well. And, should take us through the first weekend in November quite nicely.
Yeah, the Corn Maze app, I think I just checked, we have over 100 people on the leaderboard, so I think that's cranking along a little faster than last year. I guess more people could do that.
It's really a cool thing that I don't even know of another maze that does that.
There are others that do something similar.
So I don't know of a lot of other mazes.
Well, I guess a lot of them, it's a piece of paper and you just find stuff. This is actually on a website and you're competing against
Yeah,
other.
but you're finding
other people.
waypoints in the maze.
There's 12 of them.
Testing yourself against yourself, and but the coolest thing is you can pop it up. You can get on our leaderboard and see if you can be the top mazer of the year.
There you go.
How special is that?
We should probably give away a prize or something now that I say that in a public place. I guess I should reconsider it or maybe make sure it happens.
Anyway, a lot of people go through and don't take advantage of it, and I think they should. It's a neat feature. You're going through it anyway. You just well do it well.
And the phone rings.
That's okay.
This is a very professional production here.
We run a business anyway.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm not sure. I can't think of a whole lot of more stuff that we should talk about.
Greenhouses are often, they can get a little neglected during this time of the year, the busy time of the year.
They sure can.
You have to have your tomatoes growing during this time to have them. By
you mean we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you. No, you
I guess
we.
We as in you.
Anyway,
it's confusing.
We have one greenhouse that looks pretty good. I think we're gonna have fruit in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
They're baseball plus size.
I think last year there was a couple of weeks between when we closed and when we reopened stuff like that.
We got them planted a little bit later, I think. So we tried to make a conscious effort this year to move that up some.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna definitely have tomatoes by the first part of November. Probably decent supplies. Hopefully enough to wholesale some.
So we'll probably be open the week after we close the fall stuff.
Too soon to say that for sure, but yeah,
it might take a week or so off there yet, but
earlier than we did last year, and people are already asking about tomatoes. So
yeah, I guess if you're interested in tomatoes, keep an eye on Facebook or Instagram. Or if you go to the website on the homepage, there's a currently available section, and tomatoes will show up there when they're available. So
so we have that house. We have another house where we have it partially full of tomatoes and then some cucumbers. It's just a little bit behind the house I talked about was going to come in November. Of course, it's not as big. It's it's a piece of that house. But, so we're hoping to have decent supply out of both of those houses. And then we're already thinking about our spring house, which we hopefully can start picking in March. We have some of those seeds planted already.
Okay.
And we have more ordered because we're going to need more because some of the trays didn't do very well, which things happen in farming.
Especially when you're in a really busy season like our fall season is.
So we're going to have to replant some trays. Anyway, hopefully we can have that spring house come in March, and so we'll have our regular winter house, and so we'll have two houses in full production
for March,
April, which
May,
is when we move a lot of tomatoes, and springtime or longer days, tomatoes do well in a greenhouse, and people are hungry for them, and because they can't wait for spring, and then of course strawberry season hits, and so
it's a good combination, I guess.
So those are kind of the main crops, kind of a wrap up of. We grow row crops here.
I was just thinking about the beans.
They are ready to harvest as soon as our neighbor finishes harvesting his crops and moves in here and starts cutting our beans. So we'll put those in a bin and sell them at the peak of the market.
There you go, hopefully.
I
almost said something about tariffs, but I don't think we want to get into that here on this podcast.
Cows are doing what cows do. They keep getting fed every day.
Yeah.
And the corn maize will be cut for cattle feed, turned into silage, put in that big upright silo that you see when you drive in here, and we'll make happy cows all through the winter.
That's right. All right. Well, if you haven't came out to see us yet this fall, we have a couple more weeks in the season. You can head over to the website for information about the schedule and what all is available. Anything else we should talk about before we close up?
I hear they have some killer milkshakes at the Snack Shack.
I don't know if you want to say that. It kind of got crazy on Saturday. We did introduce a pumpkin pie type milkshake, and the reviews I've heard so far that it's quite good, and I've enjoyed one or so myself.
You want to talk about our cool little coffee mugs?
I guess we could.
Coffee mugs.
We have 3 different ones available on the website. One is just a simple Yoder's Farm mug. The other one,
because we're simple people.
Yeah, well, especially that. The other one has a picture of our barn on it, and the third one is I conquered the corn maze 2019 corn maze.
Okay.
Cup. So
which is the one that changed colors?
There's
colors.
a version of each
of
those. Yeah,
that's cool. It turns what?
Yeah,
white?
so it's dark black when you
Yours
get it out of the cupboard. You add a hot beverage and it turns white. And this one is currently in the process of going back the other way.
That's
so
pretty cool.
it's kind of a light white to black at the top.
If only strawberries and tomatoes change that quickly, right?
That'd be, I don't know, that might be dangerous. But
That's true.
yeah, all right. Well, that's it for this episode. I guess we should mention, if you're interested in those things, you can buy them on our website. So
there you go. So fall is just an interesting time of the year. It feels like spring is kind of, everything's preparing for the summer growing season. That's the time that spring is. It's everything pushing new life. Well, fall is kind of the preparatory period for winter, and it's just kind of an interesting time of the year. You're thinking of harvesting. The temperatures are kind of spooling down, hopefully in a somewhat gradual manner, not a huge drop off
shift. Yeah,
we're actually looking at possibly some scattered frost by the weekend. So that tells you that things are definitely spooling down. The growing season is coming to an end, but it's just kind of the way God set it up, I guess. It's a transition time, but it's a time you need to start thinking. Okay, it's not going to be 75 degrees forever here. We have cold nights coming up. I've been thinking about it with my beehives. They're winding down, starting to think about going through that rest period in the wintertime. Same is true with all the crops we grow. I guess the only exception are the greenhouses, where we try to reverse things a little bit and make it springtime in there anyway.
Yeah, I was just thinking maybe this will be a time for you to rest too here before too long. Who knows?
Who knows?
Hopefully you can get a little bit of rest. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this episode. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast or this episode, you can head over to Yoder's Farm /podcast to find ways to subscribe to the podcast in your favorite podcast app. I feel like I've said podcast too many times in a row, but that's all over there, and you can find other episodes there on the website as well if you want to listen to them there. Other than that, I think that's about it. So
no, we don't take ourselves too seriously, and they shouldn't either, so let's get out of here.
All right, we'll see y'all in a couple of weeks on another. I guess we won't see you, but we'll talk to you again in a couple of weeks. So
sounds good.
Bye.